Good day, everyone. This is the continuation of Ms. Sabanal's report, Time Horizon, as part of the elements of research design. So, cross-sectional versus longitudinal studies. Let us first talk about cross-sectional studies. It is a study that can be undertaken in which data are gathered just once, perhaps over a period of days or weeks or months in order to answer a research question. So it is a type of research design in which researchers collect data from many individuals at a single point in time. This is the study where the data collected at one point in time. Example, data were collected from stockbrokers between April and June of last year to study their concerns in a turbulent stock market. Data with respect to this particular research had not been collected before, nor will they be collected again for this research. The second example, a drug company wanting to invest in research for a new obesity pill conducted a survey among obese people to see how many of them would be interested in trying the new pill. This is a one-shot or cross-sectional study to assess the likely demand for the new product. The purpose of the studies in the two following examples was to collect data that would be pertinent to finding the answer to a research question. Data collection at one point in time was sufficient. Both were cross-sectional designs. Next, let us talk about longitudinal studies. It is when the data on the dependent variable are gathered at two or more points in time to answer the research question. In some cases, however, the researcher might want to study people or phenomena at more than one point in time in order to answer the research question. So it is where the data collected repeatedly over time. It is a study where the researcher involves the repeated observations for the same variables. For instance, the researcher might want to study employees' behavior before and after a change in the top management so as to know what effects the change accomplish. Example number one, a marketing manager is interested in tracing the pattern of sales of a particular product in four different regions of the country on a quarterly basis for the next 2 years. Since the data will be collected several times to answer the same issue, and that issue is the tracing pattern of sales, the study falls into the longitudinal category. Example number two. In 2002, Guest, Conway, and Davy published the results of a two-way longitudinal study investigating the relationship between career management and organizational commitment among graduates in the first 10 years at work. Data were collected at 2 points in time, 12 months apart. Longitudinal studies take more time and effort and cost more than cross-sectional studies. However, well-planned longitudinal studies can, among other things, help to identify cause and effect relationships. For example, one could study the sales volume of a product before and after an advertisement, and provided other environmental changes have not impacted on the results. One could attribute the increase in the sales volume, if any, to the advertisement. If there is no increase in sales, one could conclude that either the advertisement is ineffective or it will take a longer time to take effect. Experimental designs invariably are longitudinal studies, since data are collected both before and after a manipulation. Field studies may also be longitudinal. For example, a study of the comparison data pertaining to the reactions of managers in a company toward working women now and 10 years later will be a longitudinal field study. Most field studies conducted, however, are cross-sectional in nature, often because of the time, effort, and cost involved in collecting data over several time periods. Longitudinal studies will certainly be necessary if a manager wants to keep track of a certain factors. For example, the manager want to keep track about their sales, the advertising effectiveness, and etc over a period of time to assess their improvements or to detect possible causal connections. Though longitudinal study is more expensive, but longitudinal studies offer some good insights.